Hello everyone. So today is Sunday, so I am making today what I'm going to call Potter Talk, which is kind of a play on words of something that happens later in the book. Just so you know, those who are following the reading, if you have never read the book, even if you've seen the movies, if you've never read the book and are following my readings or have never had anything to do with Harry Potter, don't watch these videos because I will be talking about spoilers. And so basically Sundays are basically going to be pretty much anything I want to talk about Harry Potter related. It could be talking about character development, plot developments. I may talk about just basically anything I want to be completely honest. But yes, so if you have never read the books or have never been involved in anything Harry Potter whatsoever, neither of you listen to this video because there will be spoilers. But anyways, today I am going to go through and list out my least favorite to favorite book. I'm going to start with my least favorite, which is going to be Chamber of Secrets. Now, I know that's very basic because this is a lot of people's least favorite book. And my reasons are pretty much the same as everybody else's. Also, first of all, let me start by prefacing, I love every single book. I mean, all of them trump any other book in any other series. So every single book, even this book, trumps every other book I've ever read. But basically why this one is my least favorite, is generally, the plot conveniences. There's just a lot of plot convenience in this one, and which is fine in general because again, it makes sense in the story. When you read the whole story, it makes sense. But and also the same thing as everyone else says is kind of, you know, it's still childlike, and I guess there's not a sense of nostalgia as much with this one. Definitely is for me, but in a general terms, as far as talking about the first two books, generally nostalgia is what holds the first two because they just don't have as much in them as, you know, 3 through 7. But that's pretty much why this one's my bottom spot. Now, what I love about this book, however, I love the mystery aspect. Granted, every single one of these books has a mystery, but this is mainly a mystery novel. I mean, that's pretty much what this book is. And I do love that aspect of it. And she does a very good job. Again, there is the plot convenience thing, which does happen a lot in this book, but it is still an amazing, amazing book. But yeah, this one is my least favorite. Now let's move on to the one I am reading right now, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. And that is my 6th favorite book. Or, I guess, next to last favorite book. And the reason this one, I know a lot of people say this one is their least favorite as well, next to Chamber of Secrets. But the reason why this one goes above Chamber of Secrets is generally because it is the nostalgia. It's also the opening story. And honestly, it used to be a lot higher, but it's mainly, again, because it is the first book. The world building is amazing and everything, but that also is the crutch of it. It is mainly world building. It's mainly finding out who characters are. So there's not as much in-depth learning about everyone, not as much growth. They're also, you know, the youngest they are in the entire series in this book, which, you know, as you get older, you know, you're gonna change, and you know, you're gonna find better things in 3 through 7 because you get to grow with the characters. And I think, again, that's one of the things that are this amazing about this book series. But yeah, I think, again, the things I love about this book is the world building is amazing. You get to be set up for everything. There's, again, plots, there is ideas in this one that are explained not until book 7 or book 5 or however long, and that is the most amazing thing, is the fact of how this book sets up everything. And that is the only reason it really goes above Chamber of Secrets for me. Because they have about the same, enjoyment level, really. I mean, I will reach for this one more just because it is the first book. Honestly, I've probably read this one more than any other one. But, it's just because it's the first book. But yeah, again, amazing. But yes, next to last favorite. And then coming in spot number 5, which I know this is going to be a shocker to most people, is Prisoner of Azkaban. Now, I know this is most people's favorite book, which I completely understand. But the reason why it goes lower for me is, again, I think more the plot convenience in this one. And again, that's not to say that it's bad or inconvenient, because everything makes sense, everything goes together and flows together in the end. But I think it's just them not having complete control, which they really don't until book 7. But in this one and book 2, it's very much shoved in your face, as well as book 1. But again, I think it is mainly plot convenience, and also I still want someone to explain to me, does Percy have a time turner? Because he took 12 owls, but Hermione's taking 12 owls, and she needed a time turner, but it's never explained whether anyone else who took 12 owls needed a time turner. I need it explained, and maybe it is explained somewhere in the Pottermore universe, which I don't know how I missed that. Especially, I mean, I've seen some conversations about it, about people saying they have, but I don't know, that doesn't make too much sense to me. So that's also another thing with this one. But I do love how time travel is done with this, because the only way time travel works in this is if it happens. So it's a one string timeline kind of thing, which I love personally about time travel. I hate time travel that could change past, present, and future. I like time travel that is past, present, and future. It happened, so it will always happen, which I really, really love about this and what she did with it. But, and we also meet Sirius Black and Lupin in this one. And I know it might be controversial, but I like Lupin better than Sirius. But, I do love this book. Amazing, amazing book. But yeah, it's number 5, which again, I know this is most people's favorite, but don't come for me. All right, and now we're going on to book number 4, which is Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. Now, I know, again, a lot of people might be shocked about this one, but I feel like this one is very much middle of the road for most people. For me, it is the last book. The only reason it doesn't reach my top 3 or doesn't reach, the best is just because I think in this one we're mainly focusing on the Horcruxes. We're getting to the end of the character development, and, we haven't seen through all the character development yet. And again, amazing, amazing book. But I think that for me is why it puts down between 4 through 6, is because there is less character development as far as, growing with the characters. Where I feel like as, 4 through 6, you really truly get to see that. And this one is just the end, so they're there, they're done, it's happening, they're doing it. But again, amazing book. Some of the best things about this is it has 2 of my favorite chapters in the entire series, which is the forest again, and I think it's, oh my god, I think it's just the platform, I think. Oh my god, why can I not remember it? I've read this a million times and I cannot remember the chapter name. King's Cross, oh my lord. King's Cross. But The Forest Again and King's Cross are 2 of the best chapters in the entire series. I cannot wait to get there to just read it out loud to everyone. It's just honestly beautifully written. As well as, the beginning of Shell Cottage, and you get to see Harry's reaction to everything that happens at Malfoy Manor, and just the way she writes grief. Those 3 chapters for me, or at least the 2 chapters, and then King's Cross, just the way she writes that conversation between Harry and Dumbledore. I can't. These do have some of my favorite chapters. So yeah, absolutely amazing. But again, middle of the road as far as my favorite. And the next one is a lot of people's least favorites. Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix is my 3rd favorite book. So the reason why I love this one so much is, number 1, it's the longest book, so we get the most Harry Potter possible. But number 2, you really get to see the trauma finally hit Harry. And I think that is so beautifully done in this. And I know a lot of people can't stand how angry Harry is in this book, but it makes so much sense. How much he's gone through, he should be crazy. But it just does such a good job of showing PTSD and showing what Harry goes through, and showing just the trauma he has gone through. And I just love a good villain as well, and Umbridge is awful, and I just think that is a perfectly done evil character, because I think we all know someone like her. And the thing is about Voldemort and Bellatrix, even though they are worse in many ways, they're the evil that we can't always see or touch or think about, or is not in our everyday lives. Like Voldemort is basically Hitler, and it's not someone we see every day in our everyday lives. Someone who's easily recognizable. You easily know who that person is. Where even Bellatrix, same way. Very evil, but not as relatable. Umbridge. We all know an Umbridge. We all grew up with an Umbridge. We all see Umbridges in office. I'm not going to get into politics, but there are a lot of them there. And I just, oh God, she does it so beautifully in this book. And this book actually used to be my favorite, only because it was the longest. But the reason why it moved down to number 3 is it boils down to it is the biggest book, so there are a few times where it is a little bit slow. But I don't think it's not too slow for me. But I think if I pick it up compared to 4 and 6, I do think it has slower moments that maybe I might enjoy, but other people might not enjoy. As well as I don't think there's not too much I hate about this book at all. I just love it so much. But I think 4 and 6 really truly just bring you there. But I forgot to mention another thing about this book. I could do an entire, which I probably will. I'll probably go through and talk about how each book is different from the movie. And one thing that they do different in here that I could talk about easily forever is Harry's feeling towards Sirius' death. Sirius' death didn't make me cry in this book, but Harry's reaction to Sirius' death in Dumbledore's office when they have that conversation in this book is heartbreaking. It truly, truly is. And it's written, again, she writes grief so beautifully. And also, I really prefer the way the book does the whole possession thing, whereas the movie takes it a very cheesy route. You'll never find love or friendship, and he breaks the mirror in the glass, which I get it for a visual effect for a movie, but in the book, you know, he's just like, I wish I could die right now to be with Sirius. And that love for Sirius and that grief for Sirius is what drives Voldemort out ultimately. I just It's amazing. But anyway, this is book number 3, and let's go on. So my second favorite book, and it has actually always been my second favorite book, is the one that's never changed, is Goblet of Fire. And I love this book. Number one, the mystery is so well done. I'm sorry, but the first time I read this, I could not have told you that it was Barty Crouch Jr. being Mad-Eye Moody. I mean, the clues that were sprinkled throughout the whole thing, amazing. I don't think there's only one reason really that 6 beats this one for me. And I'll let you know when I get to 6, but it's just, it's so amazing. All the little, I think it's the breadcrumbs in this one that are just for this story, because the whole story has breadcrumbs that lead you from point A to point B in different books, or in this book, or, you know, in the 4th book, they let you know something that's going to happen in book 7. You know, there's a lot of foreshadowing and all that kind of stuff, but this book in itself has so many breadcrumbs split throughout the book, and it's just, it's amazing. I could talk about this book for hours. It's also the book, as I said before, Hermione's my favorite character. And again, I am definitely going to go on an in-depth talk about why Hermione Granger is my favorite character. But this book is what made me fall in love with her. Besides book 1, where she says, "I'm going to bed before either of you gets us killed or worse, expelled." But this one is the social justice for the house elves. I am very much like Hermione in the sense of, you know, being stubborn, believing in something so hard and not going to give up on that belief. And I resonated so much with that. And I just loved the way Hermione's character really shone in this book. She did it. Hi, Storm. Hi. But she did it so beautifully. And again, Hermione is my favorite character, and I think this is where she starts to shine the most, where you see her true character and her true character development come through, and it is amazing in my opinion. Also, again, justice for Dobby in the movies. I cannot believe they cut him out of this book, because I love Dobby so much, and he's in 4, 5, 6, and 7, and 2. So I really hate that they cut him out of this book. So annoying. Or cut him out of the movie, not the book. But again, I just beautifully written. I don't think I can say really anything bad about this book. I love it so much. I know, of course, it has its issues that some people have with it, but in a general sense, like, I personally can't find anything bad to say about this book. I love it so much. But anyways, let's get on to my first spot, which, as you know, is Half-Blood Prince. This book is a lot of people's favorites, and there's a reason for that. It is so different from every book. Not only do you start out without Harry's point of view for the first time, truly for the first time, because, you know, in the first book, they start out with, of course, dropping him off at the Dursleys, and you see from Vernon's point of view, and then also McGonagall and Dumbledore's point of view. But, you know, that's because we haven't met Harry. Harry is a baby. Makes sense, and it has to be done that way. As well as in the 4th book, they have some time where they start off alone. But again, that doesn't really count because Harry's seeing it. So it's Harry is technically seeing it, so it is seen through Harry's point of view. Hi, Storm. Hi. But this is the first time since book 1, and truly and honestly the first time we get it without Harry's point of view. 2 chapters without Harry's point of view, which stop, girl. Sorry. Which I find amazing, number 1. Also, Dumbledore is my third favorite character. I love it. It goes Hermione, Luna, Dumbledore. But also you get to see Dumbledore's character truly in this book. You get to see Harry and Dumbledore grow together. You get amazing new characters, and also you get, in my opinion, some of the best well done romances in this book as well, with Tonks and Lupin, as well as Bill and Fleur, and the way their romance lines up in this book, amazing. As well as you get to see, you know, Harry and Ginny progress, and again, I hate what the movie does to Ginny, but that is a topic for another time. We will talk about that another time. But I know a lot of people say it feels underdeveloped, but it feels very natural. They're very natural together, and I think the seeds are planted in, I think they start in book 4. At least I can see them starting in book 4. And I think it grows in book 5, and then 6, it's here. And also you get to see Ron and Hermione's relationship progress as well, which is great because I love them together. I know a lot of people don't, but again, that's another topic to discuss later. But also this, again, has one of my top 5. So 7 is in my top 5 chapters, the 2 top chapters. This one, as well as, you know, the first book with Diagon Alley, Horcruxes is one of the best chapters in the series. And that line at the end is amazing. And I wish I could read it again for the first time. But anyways, there's nothing bad I can say about this book. It's just the best, honestly. Learning about Voldemort's backstory, everything about this book is just perfect in every way. But yeah, so there is my favorite books from least to best, most favorite. I hope you guys enjoyed. Hopefully this becomes a new thing if everyone likes it. If people don't like it, people do watch it. But anyways, I'm going to be doing this every Sunday at 12 p.m. when the videos will be posted, as well as Saturday will be Potter Collector videos, just showing my different collection, and then Monday through Friday I will be posting reading videos at 5 p.m. I might still post reading videos on the weekend, but I know a lot of people said they need to catch up on a few things, so for right now, I'm skipping them on the weekends. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We'll see you again on Monday. Have a good one. Bye.